Nope, it's not working. Not this time. Wait, yeah, Deanna's working. Okay. Huh, someone like the live stream? All right. I know it's late, and I think Matthew was the only one that's on here, but this is like really important. I know. I've been live streaming a ton because my MacBook doesn't function well, and I try to be as mature and professional possible. You know, that's impossible for my personality, but I'm still working on it, especially with the lack of equipment. And hey, Matthew, I still need to talk about this guy because this video really caught my attention, especially since he's in my city. I really want him to have life in prison. This is just too much. He like I even agree with the comments I've read that he's doing like terroristic threats. He literally has. As a black African woman, this triggered me so much. The Japanese and Korean people were too accommodating and kind to this man. In Africa, he would have been killed because they had to use the word unalive within 3 days. His behavior is not only disgusting, it's dangerous. And he's going around saying he's black and autistic. That is really offensive. We as black Africans do not support, I sure don't either, in our own country, so we were never supported in another. There are a lot of Somalians like him who are full of hate towards black people. I'm shocked. Women from other races and different religious beliefs. He's using the term black as a mockery and to entice hate racism towards the black community. Oh, I see. But yeah, I mean the problem is he's an American. That's another thing. I want to finish this video. It's so good. What is sad is how this will affect all black foreigners in South Korea. Like black foreigners are not struggling already. I absolutely agree, especially my experience. I'm a black female living in Korea. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, she's wearing a face mask. And I travel to other Asian countries sometimes, and this is horrible for all of us because people form biases and stereotypes based on their experiences, and that's the sad truth. That's why the Japanese are leaning towards not allowing too many foreigners doing wild, uncalled for, and disrespectful stuff. I agree. All right, let me just show the screen here. So basically, this is again by um her name that I typed in. And you know what? I'm really curious. I can't type. Here we go. If anyone besides you, Matthew, that may be viewing this late, and this one is already midnight because I'm getting a little bit tired myself. Hopefully the poll goes through. Okay, good.
People are side-eyeing him, and it seems like they're about to call the police. He gets very worried. He's like, oh, I think they're about to call the police. So he starts screaming, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, I can't breathe. In this mocking...
Are you serious? Did he literally just bring... Oh, my goodness sake. And George Floyd was not always a great person himself because he did assault a pregnant woman. That's one thing. Even though what happened to him was tragic, still, though, he did... I remember hearing about that. I even did a drawing of him. I did post on my Instagram, but that's before I knew the stuff that he did. I mean, I still have sympathy, but at the same time, I guess not as much because he just cannot assault a woman. I know he did other things that he was supposed to do, but boy, Ramsey is just really, really making himself. He's just creating a more target towards the black community. It's incredible. Like We already go through enough. I mean, every darn active city goes through a ton of issues, but especially for us blackies, I like to call that for some reason. You're already going through a ton. And for him just to create this stigma that, oh, this is how a black American would act, it just makes it worse for us as a race alone.
Like
they're
down the subway.
Well, I did saw some foreigners. There are a couple white foreigners, so that's the first. Man, make him more of a fool.
Life Matter, George Floyd, I can't breathe. So truly, nobody wants him. Japan doesn't want him. Korea doesn't want him. Americans don't want him.
Yep, we don't. I mean, at least us Arizonans, we do not welcome him back ever.
I'm a dancer in America. American culture. And the police are like, we don't care. You're a dancer? We don't care. This is Korea. He says, this is a free concert. Get off the bus. And they escort him off the bus. Other instances include, as no shock to any of us, that these are the types of guys that get upset when girls don't find them attractive, which naturally makes them hate every woman alive, because I personally can't fathom how anyone could find them more than a clump of cells and flesh that take up space.
Yeah, basically being considered as an incel, so to speak.
Brain operating there. The elevator does not go all the way up. Lights are on, but nobody's home. They proceed to just harass women on the streets, live streaming it. At one point, they run into foreigners also visiting and living.
Oh, ad. Oh dear, that's only 32 seconds. I just had to talk about this because I know I had one view, but they left. It's hard to get people's attention. But you know what, Dion, even if people don't stick around, you're doing your best. Oh, that looks good. Stuffy mix. I love this video that this woman is talking about because I'm glad it's going viral. Oh, someone voted other. Whoever voted other, feel free to comment. If you're still here, I saw other just now. If you're not, black, Hispanic, or Asian, it says I can only fit 4 options in here.
In Korea, they're regular foreigners who are abiding by cultural norms, and out of nowhere, Gino the minion starts just calling one of the girls, just standing there, minding her own business. Move along, dirty emo. Get the out here with your stank ass. Your looks like roast beef, stank ass sashimi bit. Out of here, suck my dick. You better move along.
Oh my goodness.
Smell like fish. It stinks.
Are you kidding?
It's always the foreign, nasty white. Oh, I hate them. I can't stand them. I can't stand these.
Oh, quite the language there. I love how she's expressing that.
Oh, he would get wrecked. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't care what city you go into America, you're gonna get wrecked. You could be in a rural area, you're gonna get wrecked. You could be in New York City, you're gonna get wrecked. You could be anywhere, you're gonna get wrecked.
Exactly.
So they are ballsy in South Korea because everyone's more reserved.
Yeah, relaxed.
Used to these type of behavior.
Yes, and I do think that certain cultures, everybody has, and it could be for bad reasons too. South Korea definitely, it has its ups and downs, but it's a bit of a mind your own business type of culture. So if someone's saying or like screaming racial slurs in South Korea,
and you got some chips.
People will try to mind their own business. Versus in America, people would be like, "That's not okay. Why would you say that? That's unacceptable." So he also thinks that a lot of East Asian.
Yep. It's totally unacceptable out here. That's one thing.
Try to mind their own business. Versus in America, people would be like, "That's not okay. Why would you say that? That's unacceptable." So he also thinks that a lot of East Asians are docile, submissive, polite, weak, meek,
friendly,
scared.
So that's why he's doing this.
Yes.
But he wouldn't dare to do 1% of that in America. Because the moment that someone step up, he instantly go back.
And they know because they tried it in Thailand and it didn't work, so they stopped.
Right.
And it's not like, because a lot of netizens are saying, why don't you try this in Brazil? Why don't you come to Mexico? We want you. So a lot of netizens from those countries are actually asking Ramsey and Gino to come to their country just to see what happens. But he specifically targets countries for that reason.
Well, why Thailand? Does he know, like, in Thailand, they don't play around compared to South Korea? They may be Buddhist, but no, that doesn't make them weak. No, Buddhist people are not, not. So it's really silly that he would think he could probably go somewhere out in Bangkok that, oh, you know what? I could basically harass this woman. No. It was kind of hot to see how all those men were getting up on him. I don't know why. That was kind of sexy for some odd reason. Maybe it's because I don't know why. I got like a weird fantasy like when men know how to fight. You know, they don't even need to fight. But actually, I prefer they don't. But for some reason, when they say that they beat up someone just to protect someone that they love, I think it's a turn on because that sounds wrong. It seems masculine to me. And even when they don't fight at all, it's also masculine, right? So I love this woman. Honestly, Wada Mako knows her stuff. I'm surprised that this video is an hour and a half long. God, I still got like 40 minutes left.
Some of my favorite wholesome videos to watch online are the ones where people who speak multiple languages but don't look like it will randomly break out into full sentences, surprising everyone around them. And almost always, the unsuspecting native speakers in the videos are shocked, but also happy, elated, even because learning a language is so much more than just communicating. It shows that there's a deep interest in the person's culture and heritage. I've been learning Chinese from my husband's side of the family, and actually I was talking with a friend and suggested, totally unprompted, that they should surprise their grandma for the holidays by learning her native language using Rosetta Stone. She just started practicing and is hoping to surprise her nana.
Come to think of it, I remember hearing about that. I think my old best friend's mother wanted to get one for me, but we never set it up.
She does not understand what he's saying, but then he proceeds to stick his tongue out and try to crudely show how he would do it, which is just straight up harassing women on the street.
It is.
They also seemingly stalk minors around. Stalk could be subjective here, but Ramsey follows a girl who appears to be a minor into a store, asks her why she's scared of him. Because she avoids him by going into a store. And he's like, why are you scared? Why are you scared of me? Why are you scared? Which you're chasing her into a store, shoving a camera in her face. I would say that would induce some level of fear. The employee tries to help the girl, and Ramsey starts screaming, don't touch me, don't touch me. He laughs maniacally before going out onto the street and running up to a group of older ladies. Like, I would say they're my mom's age. Screaming, ah, into the camera and just pointing the camera at their faces, like blocking their way of traffic on the street and screaming, ah, maniacally into his camera. The lady stares at him for a minute, then stares at the screen. Listen, if this were my mother, bless her heart, she would have cried all the way home. But this woman just screams, ah, right back and gives him the side eye to the point where he just tells her, Ajima, relax. Ajima, relax. What do you mean, Ajima, relax? Johnny also walks around asking girls if they want to be on his stream, and one group of foreigners informs him, no, thank you. But also, could you delete the video since, like, you caught me on your video when you were asking? And at this point, he shoves the camera preemptively into their face. So then Ramsey continues recording them, asking, and if I don't, what are you going to do about it, ho? Exactly, so shut the f up. In another clip, he spots a cute little band performing outside on stage. Which, by the way, this whole performance is cute because it's small and it's intimate in real life, but it's being televised on national television. He proceeds to jump onto the stage.
What?
Disrupts the entire show.
You kidding me?
Basically saying, look at me jumping up on here. They're not even doing nothing about it. What do you want them to do about it? Tackle you to the ground and beat you up? One of the more viral and annoying things that Ramsey does in Korea, aside from obviously everything else, is there's a clip of him at 7-Eleven. And in Korea, you can eat at the 7-Eleven. There's booths and tables there.
Oh, that must be
microwaves
nice.
to heat up cup noodles. Everything is
So
self-serve.
it's not just Japan. They do that in South Korea. Oh, they're so lucky. I wish we have that here in the U.S. Then we don't have the rush all the time. Oh, that's nice.
Very well organized into recyclables, food waste, regular waste. I've never walked into a 7-Eleven and felt like someone left a mess behind. Everybody is very respectful. It's the cultural norm. Except here is Johnny sitting there with his big speaker next to him so that anyone that donates can say whatever dumb middle school run-of-the-mill sexist, misogynistic remarks out loud, and he'll play those really loudly. He also uses the speaker to play Gangnam Style. He's obnoxiously dancing inside of a business, disturbing.
Yeah, I remember seeing that clip.
Mentally disturbing them, disturbing their peace. He also tries to dance with a male customer who clearly does not want to be anywhere near this guy.
I could tell.
He purchases a few ramen and a soju with one of those empty ice cups. He's on camera, sitting there, pouring soju into the ice cup.
So that's like alcohol?
Not allowed to drink the soju inside the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, it's
You
also
can
alcohol.
purchase alcohol inside the 7-Eleven. You cannot drink it inside because then
Soju is like Korean liquor.
yes, like you can. The ice cups are meant for coffee, teas, other beverages. The older lady that works there walks over and tells him very nicely that he can't drink the alcohol here in the store. To which he aggressively tells her, "I'm black. I'm not going to do nothing." And again, you know my yes.
And he called her a
She
bitch.
basically tells him to also shh, because
Be
he's
quiet.
playing like loud noises. Also, his followers love playing monkey noises, which also feels very racist. Like everything
It
feels so
is.
racist to everybody. And he's like, yeah, I'll shut up. I'll eat the ramen. I'll shut up. I'll eat the ramen. But as she's walking away, he starts lunging after her, like he's going to punch her or like pull her hair or something. He has a cup ramen in front of him, and later he just starts pouring out.
Well, the police would be called on him real quick. And yet he's from my city? I would never see anyone my whole lifetime living here that would act like that. We don't act like this. We're way too kind of a state to act like lunatics. The only people that would act lunatics if they're severely mentally ill, and they wouldn't even physically assault someone. I know because I've seen a ton of mentally ill people. They don't go that far. Especially the ones that would ask me, "Oh, do you have blues? Do you do whatever drugs?" They're kind about it. At least, except for a couple. But it's not like they would touch me. They would say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you have a good night." We do that here. Okay, even for the ones that do drugs. Okay, I remember when I always have my phone on me, they would be kind and tell me, "Oh, you have a good day," or I told them, "Be safe." Right? It's an Arizona culture, Phoenix culture, so to speak. And to know that some whatever the heck, Ramsey, right? For him to be born in my state, it's a huge insult. I don't want to blame his parents for this. On himself to even, I think I saw when she had a screenshot of his Wikipedia page. He went to like Arizona State University. I was shocked. How the hell did this maniac manage to even go to university? I'm shocked. And I've only went to college for like a half a semester, so to speak. I just don't understand it. And for him to not only prey on the underage, I'm sure he'll probably get locked up for a long time if he did that here, especially at the age of consent. I mean, it's 18, right? I don't know how the hell it works in our countries. I think that's only like if you're close in age, because I know the age of consent here is 18 though. At least that I looked up, it is 18. Just like in California and I think like a dozen other states, so to speak. I'm surprised that most of it's 16, but I think that's only if you're like the similar age. I think that's why they got Romeo and Juliet laws. You can only be dating someone that's like 3 years or closer to of your age. So like 16 and 19, as gross as they may be, that's considered okay depending on your state. I'm not sure. The law differs from state to state. Every state is different. We might as well be our own country within a country. But for Ramsey to not only twerk on rape victim statues because the woman that wanted to be called comfort women, it's really assaulting. Especially since I went through rape myself. I'm not sure if anyone might be viewing this later though, because I know my channel and I get see much, but I feel comfortable talking about it. As someone that is a rape victim, this man should be extremely guilty of himself. And I feel so awful for all those women that did not have a childhood because of how they were forced just to actually have sex with soldiers and then to do labor work. I just can't imagine that. And I got raped by over 9 different men throughout my life. Hell, more than that. I just don't keep track. And I'm surprised that I didn't get AIDS or anything related to that. Well, maybe I almost got an STD, but I'm appalled of this man. And I don't understand why he would act like this. Also, I might need to move back because I can't get too close to the TV. I'm going to hurt my eyes. It's just, I'm lost for words.
Broth of the cup ramen onto the table.
Yeah, I saw that.
On purpose.
And that's just a waste of noodles. I would die to eat those noodles right now if I could. He should be extremely ashamed of himself.
Onto a table?
Onto a table.
So it's like all wet, running down?
Oh, yeah. Then he grabs handfuls of noodles and starts throwing it all over the convenience store. Throwing it at the entry door where people are walking in, just throwing it at the windows, everywhere. Another woman, a customer, walks in, spots the soju that he's presumably drinking. He did not drink it, but I mean, it's sitting right there. He's a foreigner. He's acting drunk. He's behaving drunk, throwing a tantrum. So she tells him, "You can't drink in the store. You can't drink in the store." To which he responds, "Shut up."
Yep.
She threatens
Shut up,
to call
bitch.
the police on him. To which he responds, "Call the police, stupid ass."
Yep.
Stupid. I didn't even drink here. Are you dumb? You stupid ass, bald ass.
Mm-hmm.
And she's on the way out. He screams at her, "I did not drink it, you stupid bitch. You Chinese ass bitch."
Yep.
Which, if you know Korean culture, there is a strong respect for elders. Like, you just don't do that on a human level.
Even here.
It's extra hard to watch.
Even here.
Because it's cultural norms there. Another notable incident includes when he asks a Korean elderly man, this elderly man clearly is without a home, and he's asking for some spare change for food, and he's motioning like food. Ramsey says, "Give me a little dance first. Give me a little dancey dance first." And he goes, "You very hungry? Give me a little dance like this."
Are you serious? He literally treated a homeless man like that? Oh my. I married that homeless man before I lost my castle. He was Native American. I know he was. I offered him my sheet. Well, it was my border sheet. Because it was during February or something. No, wait, I forgot when this happened. And Matthew, I'm not sure if you're still here. Even no one's here, I'm gonna keep talking. I hope that someone may enjoy this live stream later. For anyone that wants to hear, okay, this incident happened. I don't remember. I thinking that's like, oh, Dion, you don't remember, do you? No, you don't. I know I got a video of an American man. You're still here? Okay, good. He was homeless. He was sleeping in front of our door. In my neighbor's door. My neighbor didn't care, though, because, well, he feels safe. And we don't care. He's not hurting anyone. You know? That's why I miss my house. I miss my neighbor. She is a sweetheart. She is. You know, I forgot her name, and I only talked to her like twice. Give her a take. She is so sweet. She's probably wondering like where we went to. I'm never going to forgive what Driana, and Trayvon did. I really want to. I'm gonna get my castle back. I'm like, Dion, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. You're doing your best. You're doing your best, Dion. You're doing your best. Okay. All right, Dion. I offer him a bag of Cheetos because we had like a little like bag of snacks that I think my mother bought for me at the time. And I offer him water, even though he didn't really drink it because it was cold, which I understand. Like, it gets really frigid out here, depending on the time of the year. It doesn't get that cold, but for us Phoenicians, so to speak, it does. Like, 46 degrees is like 20 for us. It gets really frigid, right? Like, I don't even like to be out when it's below 70 that much, unless I have to. I get cold really easily. And I want to interrupt him. Right? I think this is when my brother was leaving work. And then I remember I see him one morning. It looks like I don't have the video of it. It's probably when my other channels got terminated. I think it's still on here, this MacBook. I didn't delete a ton. I still have a ton of videos I kept. I just didn't label them for some odd reason. Dumb reason. He was still holding that bed sheet. And you know what? I'm happy that he was. Even if he draws it out somewhere, I don't care. Because it's not like we're going to need it anyway. And so we could just buy another one. Because I don't want him to freeze. I don't want to see a homeless man freezing, especially in front of our doorstep. Like, I have a home that's all warm, right? And I could use the heater for what? He needs that sheet. And he needs a bag of chips so he won't go hungry. And I'll wrap him up because, well, that man went through a lot. And seeing that clip of the way that he acted, it's sickening. He should, man, he would not, I don't know what to say at this point. I don't.
That he bought at a market, just letting it rot in the heat, letting the bag rip open and leak onto the bus, just waving it around in front of people's faces.
Cooking Korean barbecue.
He goes to university campuses to show college students the rising sun flag, which is the flag that Japan occupied Korea under to give.
Oh, no, he did not. Are you kidding me?
Korean barbecue.
He goes to university campuses to show college students the rising sun flag, which is the flag that Japan occupied Korea under to give you an idea that would be, and I'm not saying this is equivalent, but just to give you some context, because I know Asian history can feel very foreign. It's like going around showing Confederate flags.
Right.
Like, historically speaking, what Japan...
I don't like seeing Confederate flags. I know people don't make a big deal out of it. I don't like seeing them. Because it reminds me of, well, straight up racism. I don't like seeing them. I don't. I seriously don't.
In the past is a very tough subject. Like, so many people died. There was a suppression of Korean culture. It was like a complete cutoff of culture and identity. Koreans were not allowed to be Korean. They were not even second-class citizens during that time where their country was occupied. Korean language and history was banned in an attempt to erase Korean cultural heritage. Korean farmers were forced off their lands. They were forced to work in mines, factories for the Japanese military.
Are you serious?
He would go through the subways with the sound in Korean. Korea belongs to Japan. You are all comfort women.
Oh my goodness.
Playing on his phone.
It is crazy that he's walking free, doing all of these things for so long.
Yeah, so like just replace
Even just
it.
one of those actions is beyond, like, and he's doing this constantly.
Yeah.
So that must be her husband.
Again, replace it with American history. Just think about how that would play out and what kind of disrespect that is. Another one playing the words, I hate Korean people. I wish Koreans would get a nuclear weapon from Kim Jong-un.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, Korean people, that doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Speeches from the North Korean dictator.
Oh, no, he did not.
He will call them racist. And if that doesn't work, he will say, I have autism, and then walk away. He also threatened.
If I have any South Koreans, first, I want to say 안녕하세요. I please pardon me for this mess of a human being that happened to be in my city's origin. He should have had his parents wearing protection because I don't know how to respond. I don't. I do not know why this man thinks it's okay for him to act the way that he's acting. I feel awful that you have to hear this. And Rana Mango is an inspiration just to bring up news about this freak. Because I'm sorry, I don't know what to say right now. And there's like a half hour left. I'm loving this so far.
Slap a BTS member?
What do you mean?
What?
Slap a BTS member.
That's his quote?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
He didn't name who. He's like just a BTS guy.
Yeah.
You're
Even
kidding.
when he's doing all of this, probably every Korean person wants to slap him, but they show great restraint. But I believe there are some lines that you just do not cross. Side note, he does have another sidekick in Korea, a guy named Hank Yu. Honestly, I don't know this man. I just know that in the depths of Twitter, there's a video of him saying that he only essays men. He also calls himself the Texas Asian Nazi.
What?
There's pictures of him that he took dressed up next to anti-Semitic signage and holding rifles. He was sentenced to a few years in prison in the U.S. for firearm-related charges. I believe he was deported after his sentence back to Korea. Which
interesting.
We know not much about this guy, but we know so much based off of that alone.
That's crazy that they found each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they must be lurking in the same weird forums. Probably one of the more heinous things he does in Korea, if you can believe it. It gets worse aside from
I
everything.
bet.
Ramsey, somehow this also never gets talked about, at least not in depth. But Ramsey goes to Lotte World, which is the Disney World of South Korea.
Wait,
So
what?
primarily with children.
Pardon?
Ramsey, somehow this also never gets talked about, at least not in depth. But Ramsey goes to Lotte World, which is the Disney World of South Korea, filled primarily with children. He has this stupid speaker on him. So again, if anyone donates, they can have whatever play. And the speaker would play things like in Korean, the translation being, Ramsey Ishmael is the most popular upskirt streamer in Korea. Ladies, be careful. There are children around. And the words that are being used in Korean, children are understanding all of it. On repeat, or sounds of people screaming in pain. It sounds like war, torture sounds. Or, I would like to have with children in Korean.
How is he not kicked out immediately?
He eventually gets kicked out. Yeah.
But the damage is done. He was like doing this for a while.
Yeah, and like you can see on the live stream, there's children around him. The automated voice would play it loudly in Korean, or my name is Ramsey Ishmael Khalid, which side note, it uses Johnny's Somali salami, whatever, but I'm changing it to his real name. My name is Ramsey Ishmael Khalid. My name is Ramsey Ishmael Khalid, and I'm here to impregnate a cute little Korean girl. Again, there's children everywhere. To which, if people look at him, he just screams, autism, 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 I have autism.
I have autism. I have autism. I have autism.
And when someone calls him out on his bullshit further, he points at them and accuses them of being racist, screaming, racism, this is racism, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, I'm scared for my life. Again, making a mockery. To another security guard, he says, you can't see my phone, you can't see nothing, you're racist, you can't talk to me, you're racist, I don't talk to racists. Again, mocking very real issues in the world. As one netizen comment points out though, making an ass out of yourself in a country where all adult men are required to serve in the military, not a smart move, Ramsey.
I bet.
But Ramsey either doesn't know or knows and doesn't care, but he says in a live stream, people come up to me, why are you being racist to people in other countries? For money, for clout. I said it many times. Okay, put this in your next YouTube documentary, because people are making YouTube videos about him. I don't give a... We're here tonight, and we're not scared. His friend Gino starts jumping in. I was waiting, bro. I was waiting for that guy to swing on you. I swear, swing on it. I swear, swing on us. Basically saying, swing or shut up. I think he verbatim says that at one point, Ramsey. Is like, swing or walk away. In a separate live stream, he keeps taunting the public. He says that he has a video, a message for the Korean public, to the Korean people after what he did to the Comfort Woman statues. He says, I love Korea. And try to find me. I dare you. You never will, so good luck. That's all I want to say to you guys. And I need to address the Korean media. I want to address JTBC News for defamation against me.
What?
Today, JTBC News said that I was guilty of 2 different assault cases. This is not true.
Prickly crud.
Symbols. I love the Korean police.
No, we are right.
Always treated me greatly. I am compliant. We are working with the Korean police with whatever investigations they have. I am not guilty of assault.
Yeah, right.
Pull up a picture of South Korean President Yoon, which I mean, I personally don't know many Koreans who are fond of him, but go off, I guess. He continues, President Yoon, I love you. I love you. He kisses the picture of President Yoon on the
That's
phone.
disturbing.
I love you. You guys only saw me dancing with this statue, and honestly, if I could take it back, I won't. How about that? I'm not sorry. If you want me to apologize and bow down on my knees and apologize, I refuse. I won't. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to kill me? You're going to kill me for dancing with a metal bronze statue? Get over it. That's what I need to say. You think I'm going to sit here and fake apology? You think I'm going to sit here and like cry about it? I'm not sorry. I'm not. He goes on to say, don't let the media fool you. This is the real Comfort Woman. He pulls up a picture of a woman leaning up against a car, a clear stereotype of someone who, consents. And he says, this is what the real Korean Comfort Woman were. Korean Comfort Women were, oops. Sorry, I debated there if I wanted to say that word. I don't use that word, but just to give you the gravity of what he's saying.
Wait, what?
He continues. They were used by the American soldiers. They were used by, they were illegally paid. I think the Japanese soldiers were paid 7 yen a month, and the Korean Comfort Women were paid 300, 400 yen a month. If we go back in time, that's enough to buy a house. So these were rich. These were some of the richest in Korea, if we're being honest. This is entirely false. But he's trying to insinuate that the women that were taken, tortured, and essayed repeatedly, as well as beaten on a daily basis, and then ultimately killed, were exploiting the military men to make a profit. He then welcomes people to come hunt for him. He says, "I'm out for Halloween. Come catch me. I'm outside." Many netizens have stated, he asked and he found out. This lands him getting punched in the face by Captain Korea in the middle of the street that we were talking about earlier. That both Ramsey and Gino IRL are outside at night on the street when a man walks up to Ramsey and just decks him in the face. Gino catches the bulk of it on his live stream. The Korean man promptly walks off like nothing happened, hands in his pockets. This is the first assault. He's not running away. The Korean man is not running away. He's just steadily walking away.
Right.
It feels like an action movie, honestly. Gino, the minion, starts screaming after the Korean man, "What the f is your problem? What the f is your problem?" The man who just punched Ramsey calmly turns around and says, "You guys." Gino, the minion, starts following him, interestingly, at a laughingly slow speed. He's not even trying to catch up with the Korean man. The Korean man is not even fast walking out of there. He's not even pacing out of there. It's almost like he's timing the steps. As the Korean man takes one step, he takes one step. The Korean man takes one step, he takes one step. His actions, his speed, very incongruent with his words. He's screaming, "Oh, hell no! Why are you walking away?" Side note, even the Korean news have played the clip in which the broadcaster states they continue to follow the man who is now walking away, asking him why he is walking away while maintaining a safe distance. He keeps screaming at him, "Bring your ass back here!" The man indeed does do that. He comes back, snatches Gino's phone, one of them, straight from his hand, and then proceeds to just calmly walk away. Quite slowly, might I add.
He's holding Gino's phone.
He snatches Gino's phone. So now we're getting it from Ramsey's live stream because he's back up and running after the punch. He takes Gino's phone and he just proceeds to calmly walk away. They continue to follow him, all walking, not even at a brisk walk, but a slow walk. "Ask, give me my phone back." To which the Korean man then turns around and throws the phone onto the ground, leaving Gino to go run after it. I mean, the whole thing is quite goofy, but Ramsey keeps following the Korean man, screaming, "Why are you walking away? Why are you walking away? Why are you walking away?" Which the lesson here being, be very careful what you wish for, because he's...
Oh, man! Oh, I love this so far. This is awesome. Golly. Oh, sorry about that because I'm feeling a little tired. Oh, excuse me. But if anyone ever is listening to this all the way through, I'm not sure if that's the case. The channel is Rotten Mango. She basically does like journalistic videos based off topics like this. And I found her earlier and I just fell in love with what she basically posts. It's so educational. And I've always wanted to do topics like this because I find it interesting. Okay.
Because he stops walking away. He turns around, faces Ramsey. Ramsey instantly flinches and changes his tune. "I swear to God, man, try it. Yeah, you better walk away. You better walk away. Walk away, I swear to God. Go. Then what's up?" Walking away.
"Why are you walking away?" And then goes, "Go, walk away, walk away."
Yeah, because he turns back around and he almost does like a little punching movement, and Ramsey flinches, and now he's like, "Walk away, huh? What's up? Walking away. What's up? What's up? Come back. What's up? Come back. You tried, and what's up?" I do not think that the man is scared of him, which is why he stops punching him. I think that one punch is okay. Perhaps some people could see it as justified, considering what Ramsey did.
Right.
But seeing Ramsey flinch like that and appear scared, it would just be straight up bullying if he were to swing again and again.
That's true.
It wouldn't even be a fair fight, even though it's 2-1.
Right.
Later, Ramsey goes on to him. Hitting and running away, which, Ramsey, come on now, let's be real. He did not run away. But he continues. "Since when is hitting and running gangster? Roll up and square up. Where you at, bro? Come on, bro. That's not gangster." To which I honestly thought there might have been mixed comments because ultimately violence is never justified. But the comments read, it was not enough. 2v1 and they didn't dare do shit. These little mother kept provoking him. But when the guy turned around, he starts ducking back like little LMAO. Just take the L, bro. Ramsey ends up with a bandage on his right eyebrow after this altercation. The next hunt finds a handful of Korean live streamers finding Ramsey at night in a relatively empty alleyway. They're screaming at him, and one Korean man in particular is screaming, "You touch my girlfriend?" So they're all getting into a fight. It's a whole mess. There are multiple clips with multiple angles of a fight going viral all over X, showing Ramsey, Gino, and their Korean friend Hank Yu getting beaten up by one Korean man. The Korean man starts with Ramsey first, runs after him, tackles him to the ground, shoulder flips him onto the cold pavement, and then kicks him in the chest. He's quiet now. Ramsey is not talking back. Ramsey has zipped it up. He's quiet. The other Korean live streamers are calling the Korean guy a legend, a legend. Now, one thing to note is that Koreans are very into 1v1 fights. Ramsey is on the ground, vulnerable. They do not all come in and attack him and jump him.
Right.
In fact, the Korean man's girlfriend steps in and pulls him off of Ramsey. Then the Korean man goes for Gino, the friend, slams him onto the ground. But it appears while he's going after Gino, Hank Yu, the disgraced Korean, is trying to grab at him. So now it's Gino and Hank versus the Korean man, to which the rest of the Korean live streamers break it up, and they're screaming, "You can do one-on-one, you stupid asshole." Because they're saying, like...
Yeah, because they have so many people, they could have jumped the three of them. So they are still being civil. Yeah. Yes, it's not about jumping someone, it's about karma. Is what I think they think. It's not what I'm condoning. You know, it's assault, it's a fight, but I guess they want a fair fight, a fair assault. That's what netizens are indicating.
Right.
South Korean netizen comments translates to read, "The person who kicked that guy should be awarded a Good Citizen Award." Another reads, "Who cares what the police do? Citizens are punishing well. Don't even get the police involved." Another South Korean netizen comments, "Ban them from leaving the country and just release them on the road. God takes care of it."
That works too.
Another comment ominously reads, "It's going to get worse. They need to deport him to save his life." Ramsey Khalid Ismail could have been a very smart guy. Before he becomes one of the most hated people in East Asia, and I want to say Asia and perhaps America, everywhere. He's just a 23-year-old guy. From what I can tell, there's very sparse information online, but he's a very normal guy from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Scottsdale?
From Arizona State University with a finance degree. Side note, there's a whole video of him talking about school, and he says before his career online, he was just a bot. And he calls all the students bots.
What?
So he was stuck in a hamster wheel of life. Which is so dumb. We are all hamsters stuck in the wheel of life. We're just a racist hamster that's still stuck in the wheel of life.
Exactly.
But you're also getting punched in the face every now and then.
Exactly.
Back to his monologue, he states, "When I went to school those first 4 years, I did really well in finance, but I was depressed. I did not like where my life was going. Like, where does that leave you? You go to school for 4 years. You go to work for 4 years. You end up in a cubicle with a suit on and a tie. Where's the mobility in life? I'd rather take a risk, you know, and live a different life, you know what I mean? Live in a different country, meet different people." Which he's meaning a lot, right? Even with his right eyebrow busted, he was live streaming saying things like, "If you want to run up, run up. I don't care. Come get me. I'm not scared." And run up they do indeed. There is a YouTuber in South Korea that is also a former UDT member. The UDT in South Korea is the equivalent of a Navy SEAL in America. He has joined the hunt for Ramsey. He finds him. Ramsey's eyebrow is already busted. He's walking out of a building, and the UDT man is waiting outside for him, taunting him. "Odiga, Ramsey. Odiga." Odiga means, "Where you going? Where you going?" He's like, "Where you going?" And of course, Ramsey doesn't know what to say. He's alone. His little minions aren't with him. He's alone. He's afraid. So he just tries to act like he's big, bad, and tough. "Odiga, Odiga, Odiga." Just Odiga. And all of a sudden, the UDT man just shoves him onto the ground.
Oh, shoves him.
It's a light shove, but he goes flying.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then there's like a few little kicks that happen, and the police eventually get called. And I will say the police are very quick to separate the two of them.
Yeah.
But Ramsey does seem very shaken up, disoriented when he gets back up. And it's clear to see that he got off very lucky with this interaction. When the former UDT specialist, he's being held back by cops, the way he is eyeing Ramsey up and down, it's like he's ready for another round. He's taunting him. "Good night, Salami. Good night. Good night."
He's saying that in English?
Yeah. And is ultimately arrested. Before he gets arrested,
He's arrested.
yes, but he gets released.
Yeah, I mean, he would get arrested here in the U.S., so that makes sense because even though Somali definitely deserves that, it is still considered as assault. Like here in the U.S., he would be arrested either way. So at least I know this is a global thing anyway. But you know what? UTT doesn't deserve that. He doesn't.
He's ready for another round.
He's doing a great thing.
Good night, Salami. Good night. Good night.
He's saying that in English?
Yeah.
Good night, morning. Night.
The UDT man is ultimately arrested. Before he gets arrested...
He's arrested?
Yes. But he gets released pretty quickly. Before he gets arrested, though, which this part feels like a sitcom, he's halfway into the back of the cop car. The police are standing right next to him, but they're letting him speak to another guy who's live streaming, and he's telling the live stream. He tells the live stream a very important message. In South Korea, we handle kids like Ramsey. So don't come to Korea round. To which netizens were enraged at him being detained. Though it was only for a moment, really, they comment, let him free, he did nothing wrong. There was brief outrage in South Korea over the incident. Well, for two things. For one, in Japan, Ramsey apologized multiple times. Once he even got down on his knees. Was he actually sorry? No, because the minute he gets deported and leaves Japan, he's already talking badly about Japan. But some South Koreans felt offended by the fact that he does far worse in South Korea and does not even offer up a fake apology. It feels extra disrespectful. For example, it would be like the equivalent of making 9/11 jokes in the New York City train, badly, aggressively, nonstop,
absolutely,
on your knees to fake apologize, versus rubbing baby oil and completely disrespecting the 9/11.
Yeah, definitely. I would never respect anyone. How is a non-living soul if they think 9/11 is a joke? It makes me sick. All right, so someone's at it again. Anyway.
Well, in New York City and going, I don't give a come find me. Does that make sense? It just feels, yes, both are bad.
Yeah, he's ramping up. He's getting worse and more and more aggressive. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, the comparison alone is pretty insane, but I'm just trying to give you context.
But it makes sense.
Yes, okay.
It helps. Yeah.
Yes, so the South Koreans are very upset. I see some Americans commenting things like, why do you even want an apology? Even if he gives one, he doesn't mean it. It almost feels though like he cares more or is scared more of the Japanese.
Oh, my brother's at work,
and
isn't he?
Does far worse and gets away with it in South Korea. So a lot of Koreans are like, we just want the same. At least give us a fake apology, and we'll see what we do with it. We're gonna get into it. He does give a fake apology later, but this was one big point of contention. The second being the cops kept showing up in every altercation and almost shielding Ramsey from the Korean citizens.
Right.
Which, side note, I can see why the police have to do that per se.
Because he'll get killed.
But it's honestly infuriating for Koreans to see.
That too.
I get the Korean netizen perspective. And Ramsey keeps taunting Korea with it. There's a clip of him saying that he's a VIP in South Korea. That's why the police protect him. He's like a VIP. He also says America made South Korea. He's American, so he owns this place. Which is not how it works. Yeah.
I just don't understand how he can get away with this.
Yeah. And he said that the cops told him he's a VIP, which I think is highly doubtful. And if they did, they probably meant vile idiot particle that happens to have limbs. But Ramsey taunts Koreans, and there's a clip of him saying in the back of the cop car, Americans have way more freedom here, protecting us. We in the back of a police car, come and get us, come and get us. The UDT man was released after being detained. It is stated that he was set up with a 5-star hotel afterwards, and he donated $1,000 to the pizza place that led him to discovering Ramsey's location.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pizza. He also read out a public statement, a public apology for his act of violence. In it, he states, quote, without me even realizing, my fist just left. Basically, okay, I'm not laughing because violence is not laughable.
But he's like, I'm sorry that my hand just did something bad.
Yes.
Okay.
And many Korean netizens received it as a very admirable apology. They have accepted his apology as sincere and genuine. Other netizens point to how at one point a group of Korean men surrounded Ramsey and his minion Gino and keeps yelling at them. Gino, the minion, keeps yelling at them. I will sue the you. I will sue the you. Which feel.
Okay, it's only 20 seconds. Oh, that looks good. Oh, why am I getting an ad of pizza? I hate when I get food ads like this. That's so good. I gotta try one of those. Okay.
Which feels, I mean, sure, okay, but netizens point out it's not what someone big, bad, and tough like Gino should be saying in that moment. Isn't this the same guy that will gut your ass out alive, that's doing all these things, and he's now just saying, my daddy's gonna call a lawyer. It's just people point out the weird juxtaposition. In regards to those finding and beating Ramsey, one that is in comments, where can I donate to this great cause? Vigilante justice is the future. The world needs Batman. Others find it hilarious. Some have commented, bro became the ultimate Asian Pokemon. Bro's not living long doing crap like that. Or many, again, point out the interesting aspect of Korean culture that people forget about, which is Ramsey doesn't understand the uniqueness of South Korea amongst other Asian countries. Almost all adult Korean men, from college students to the elderly, are military veterans. They also point out the fact that he believes that East Asians are docile, submissive creatures, and yet, here's a picture of him on day 5 of his South Korea trip, looking like very normal. Here's a picture of him, day 35,
all being up.
of his South Korea trip. He's got a busted eyebrow. He's bleeding from the lip. A busted.
What's with his weird hair?
Another comment reads, just ban him from leaving the country and pretend not to notice every time he gets beaten.
Yep.
The strangest part in all of this is he's not even really making money. I mean, I'm sure he's making some money, but he's not making much to ruin his life over. He's getting banned from countries. He's facing potential legal and criminal trouble. His entire reputation as both his online persona of Johnny Salami, but also as Ramsey Khalid Ishmael of Arizona, is completely tarnished.
Yeah.
Sure, he may or may not have a finance degree, but who would even hire him now? He's
no
not
one.
even really controversial. Controversial would imply that he has some sort of fan base that supports him and is willing to fight for him. He's just generally a hated person. Nobody likes him. He doesn't even have a strong fan base. The only reason that people are donating is, in my belief, they're just donating because they get to see real life reactions and consequences on Ramsey in real time. You pay a few dollars and watch someone get beat up in real time. It's like a game. If anything, his fans are excited at him getting punched, which would mean that they're not really his fans. Can you really call them supporters at this point?
Nope.
He also has a few streamer friends whom, again, just want to associate with him because he's getting some attention right now. But I highly doubt they will still be around later when it dies down. One tries to defend Ramsey, stating, Koreans want to assault Ramsey because he dared to twerk on a World War II statue. The same streamer also posts, Korean thugs chimping out and attacking Johnny because they have zero emotional regulation. Who cares that he twerked on a statue? That's not an excuse to lose control of your anger and kick someone in the head.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Ramsey has been banned from Twitch, suspended from YouTube, to which he says, I'm appealing the suspension from my channel, which I believe was a mistake. He has since taken to Twitter to ask people to send him crypto, stating, I created these today if you want to support free speech. This is the best way to support me continuing the fight. It does not appear that he's making much money off of all of this, but Koreans are. Yeah, Ramsey has been nicknamed the Golden Goblin. It's a game reference. A Golden Goblin is a game character that if you find and kill them, their pockets explode and you get all the loot. Meaning if you find him, you stream yourself screaming, yelling, degrading him, and perhaps punching him. Your viewership, fan base, donations, everything skyrockets. You make a shit ton of money.
Huh.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So many news networks have even stated, perhaps everyone is making money off of Ramsey, but Ramsey, one news network states, quote, he came to Korea for clickbait, but he gets turned to clickbait.
Huh.
Some netizens have stated that crime goes unpunished every single day. There's violence that does indeed go without consequences. People get away with crimes all the time. If this is one of those times where he gets punched in the face and justice is not served, we're not going to be crying about it in our rooms. Ramsey has said, I think I was just born to be evil. I don't know. I don't like being good. If I make content, I like to make content that makes people violent. Someone in the chat says with him, I would rather self-exit bro than let an Asian kill me. Because I guess we were just so below that one person. To which Johnny responds, bruh, I hate Asians. Honestly, I think all Asians need to be exterminated. The only Asians I respect are the Chinese. And the thing is, Korean N-words are Chinese, and Japanese are Chinese. That's why I only respect China. They're all Chinese, but with different writing scripts.
What?
Someone asks him, what's your favorite neighborhood in Seoul? Which, like, he responds, shut your ass up, you dirty Asian slur. I want to start a race war. With every country I go and radicalize, I'm going to start a race war. I'm tired of Asians.
Oh my goodness.
Race war. Like, people just don't like you. You're not starting anything. Speaking of, Johnny has since apologized. He was confronted by a group of Korean live streamers, including the UDT guy who punched him the third time of his assault. He apologized in front of a comfort woman statue. He states that as an American, he didn't even know what the statue really meant, which is
Sure.
his lie. He knew exactly what that meant.
Sure.
I think he had a better understanding of comfort women and the history of it versus any other American that I could find on the street.
That's when they started. Where can I find this one? I gotta do a twerk and be like, this one is beautiful. Where can I find this one?
He knew exactly. The first day he saw that statue to kiss her cheek, he said, Japanese hate this shit. Like, they hate this statue.
So he didn't know the ongoing
political, yes, contentions between the two countries. So, like, you know more than you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Everything he said is very, very, it's so bad to the point that it's so on the head of the issue. Like, he's so aware of the issue. That's why everything's so triggered.
Yes. So then he goes back twice and does it again. He also says he's glad that this issue brought awareness to comfort women.
What?
Which Korean netizens have been very upset about. Those live streamers that made him apologize accepted his apology. But I will say Korean netizens are very upset by this. Most of Korea is upset by this. They're actually very upset with those Korean live streamers saying, who are you to accept the apology?
Or they're upset that the Korean streamer accepted his apology.
And they all like took pictures smiling with each other.
I see.
And it's one thing to accept the apology of like, hey, I'm sorry for things I've said about you. I'm sorry for that altercation that we personally had.
Yeah.
But they cannot accept the apology for what he did to the comfort women statues. And also, you know, a good chunk of the live streamers were men. So a lot of people are like, also, what is the irony in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did apologize. I don't think he's sorry.
Not at all.
플랫폼에서도 한 번 더 이런 일이 대한민국에 있다라니 나는 네가 어디 있던 무슨 일을 하든 같이 찾아낼 수 있어. 그러니까 저희도 그런 일을 하지 마.
Well, look, I moved on from it. I'm cool. Like, I already apologized. I got him over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, so now you have the career. So
I mean, just listen to him talk about Asians. He wants them all exterminated, whether that's just for rage bait or not. I think he's just saying that so that he can walk around and try to make money without getting his face beat up every 2 seconds. Now, there are speculations that if he is able to leave South Korea, he is either headed for China or India next, which I think both would be very fascinating to see him in. I think both would be very interesting. He says about China, you will see me in Beijing, in Shenzhen, in a Chinese megacity, Chongqing. Japan will pay for what they've done to you, China, for what they've done to the greatest country on earth, Communist People Republic of China. Which I don't think he's going to be allowed into China. I do know that there are certain areas that have now a visa-free, like 144-hour in certain cities in China for American citizens.
Really?
But just based off of American passport laws, going into Japan and Korea are relatively easy, if not usually a guarantee. Getting into China, there is a harder visa process, even just for visitors.
Interesting.
And if we see that he's banned from Japan, I just don't see how he's going to get it. He's also talked about how he wants to go to India, which is easier to get a tourist visa as a U.S. national. He has his reservations, though. He says, I'm not going to lie. I want to go to India and crash on those for content. But they're going to do like a, if you thought Korea was bad, wait till like a mob of Indians comes after me. That shit is going to be bad. Maybe it's the next journey, guys. Which is already so bizarrely offensive, but he goes on to say, because people look at Asians as like meek and like an easy target. So if I start attacking countries and races that people don't like already,
oh, he's saying that
people don't like Indians.
Whoa.
Are you serious?
And he says, maybe I can win some of the haters back over, which again indicates he believes people don't like Indians, but also India is not a race. Also, Indians are Asians.
Right.
To which his co-host on the group chat
yeah, it's so funny because I always thought Indians are considered as Asians, but like their own group. Because they are in Asia, they are. But like you could tell like an Indian compared to like an Asian person. You know, they're not the same, even though they are in Asia. So I get where she's coming from.
Asians are seen as this kind of like passive robotic people. Like they have this weird, people like them for some reason. He goes on to state that if you can get India to hate you, everyone else in the world will love you because they don't like India.
That's terrible.
Which is such an unhinged take I've never seen before. And so
that's terrible.
And also, no, you would just have more people hating you and giving them more of a reason to deck you in the face. I'm so confused by this logic.
Honestly, I would like to see him go to North Korea and try this.
Oh yeah, he'll be honor.
Report him to North Korea. Try this.
Yep.
See, dance on one of their statues. See what happens.
Get Chung on.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah. Play a Diddy song.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, he won't skate.
I thought there might be more meaningful insight in the comment section, but alas, netizens will be netizens, and all the comments are like, don't go to India. Ramsey, come to our country. And they keep listing out their countries, including violent videos and GIFs of crimes that were committed in each country that they list out. But those people will have to wait. I don't know for how long, though, because he's currently being investigated for the convenience store incident, the 7-Eleven incident of disturbing the business, as well as for potential drug use. And though not confirmed, he could potentially be investigated for creating really explicit deepfakes. He had this thing where he tried to reason that he only came to Korea because he has a Korean girlfriend who told him to come, which is, side note, she's another Korean IRL streamer. He knows that every Korean hates him, and for him to lie and say that he is dating this Korean IRL streamer and she invited him to Korea to do these things is heinous. That puts a huge target on her back. But then he goes on to state that he's getting great private parts from her. It's weird. He shows a video of them kissing at a park and in a car. While it is true that he and the Korean streamer have hung out in the past, they are not dating, and the videos of them kissing are not real. So creating and or spreading explicit deepfakes in Korea is quite a sensitive topic, I'm sure, anywhere, but with the new Enthram case especially, it's a very touchy subject, which people believe he could be investigated for. The other streamer in question is currently suing Ramsey for defamation. In retaliation, it's alleged that Ramsey doxed her information to try and get her to stop.
Oh my goodness.
If he is found guilty of creating and spreading explicit deepfake videos, he could be imprisoned up to 7 years in prison.
Okay.
I think, honestly, he should be more careful about the drug charges. You would do whatever you want in certain countries, but, like, drug is also a line that you don't cross in Korea. Drugs are a line you just don't cross. I believe 4 Korean YouTubers are filing charges against him alleging assault. It's alleged that the Korean authorities have confiscated his passport, but Ramsey is either putting up a fake brave front or he just doesn't know how serious it is. I don't know. I imagine worst case scenario, he'll be deported with a re-entry ban for a few years, similar to Japan. Best case scenario, perhaps he can see what Korean inmates think about comfort women statues and his dancing on them. Under Article 2 of the Korean Criminal Act, foreigners who commit crimes in Korea are subject to local laws. So we will just have to wait and see what happens to Ramsey. What are your thoughts on this case? I originally thought that we were going to talk about this topic in a Mott's episode because when I was coming across it, everybody was talking about it in like a very lighthearted manner. This guy is just a nation's punching bag. He's so racist. He's so bad, but it's more shocking to the point that it's so unserious because he's so unhinged. But when you actually look into what he does and the things he said and the act of what he did, and a lot of times many of the American streamers and the YouTubers, and I don't blame them because it's part of Korean history, I'm sure they don't want to get it wrong and they don't want to step on anyone's toes. But also the topic of comfort women, it's like, oh, these are statues symbolizing people who were victimized in war, who were tortured in war, women who were tortured. But it's so deep and it's so ingrained into many Koreans' lives. It's just, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen to him? Do you think that this is vigilante justice, or do you think ultimately violence is bad? What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. And please stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.
He definitely needs to be in prison for sure. I can't believe I've been doing this for an hour. Even though there was like no one on here. I don't know what happened to Matthew unless he's just listening this whole time. But basically, again, her channel is Rotten Mango. If anyone ever decides to view all the way through, I'm sorry, I just had to listen all the way through. And normally I don't listen to, pardon me, videos this long. I'm like really picky on videos that I watch. And this is like probably like my favorite video that I've watched so far. Like I never knew how much of a disgrace this human being is to not only assume my own skin pigment, you know, because I know how it's like when it comes to being, let's just say, you know, racially discriminated, racially profiled, even being a rape victim, etc. You know, all of the above. He just not only makes the black group viewed as freaks, but also Americans, even though we would have a huge issue with that all over the country. Especially with all the public freak out videos I've seen. I can't imagine seeing anyone like that. Honestly, I would just find that ironic. And I met some really awkward people myself. It actually makes sense. Oh, she has a video that's 3 hours? Oh my gosh. Wow, that's amazing. Plus, I am getting a little bit tired, so I mean, I understand it is 1 in the morning, and maybe there's no one on here, and the live streams may not get viewed as much. You know I had like 2 viewers for a while, but none of them commented or anything, which is really weird. I don't know why that happens. It's interesting. I would get viewers that are not active, but I don't know. I try not to get discouraged. But yeah, I'm just getting a little bit tired. Even though when I end this live stream, I may be wide awake. Maybe it's because I feel that if I was someone to talk to, it would ease my stress to go to sleep. I did that's why, because since I'm so introverted, I do lose my energy if I was interacting with another person. But once I'm stop live streaming, I feel all alone and I get my energy back. So that's kind of the downside of being an introvert. We I still got 2 viewers on here. I'm not sure Matthew is listening or anything, but that was interesting. It's a good channel that she has.
These hands cook for 30 people, 3 meals a day. I can't stop when I have dry hands. I trust O'Keefe's.
It's a miracle.
Bada bing, bada boom.
A giant human-sized Stanley cup. You would need a ladder to get to the very top of the cup. You fill this room-sized cup with liquid nitrogen, and you lower the temperature to negative 320 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you jump inside. You would not be able to survive more than a few seconds in this type of environment, but that is the secret to immortality. That is how you live forever. Dippin' Dots. They actually make their ice cream that way. You know those little yummy ice balls that taste like rainbow sherbet? They're flash frozen in this cryogenic process that uses liquid nitrogen. I mean, you could be a living, walking Dippin' Dots ice cream ball for the incredibly reasonable price of $200,000. But if you don't have $200,000 and you have perhaps closer to $100,000, you could just flash freeze your head, keep it in the cooler. They'll find you a new body. They'll wake you up, good morning, find you a new body, and attach you. The whole point of cryogenics is that perhaps one day we as humans develop this science to bring people back, revive patients, and eventually even cure them and treat them of the diseases that killed them in the first place. To resuscitate, then save them. That's a game plan. But you can't bring back a clump of ashes or a body that's turned into fertilizer inside of a coffin. You can only bring back bodies that have been preserved, kept in the freezer for a rainy day. It's like emergency prepping, but by freeze drying your whole body.
Is that like something that's being done right now?
Is
that true?
Yes, there's a few companies around the world that'll do it. One of the biggest ones is in the United States. Yes.
They're frozen.
Yes, they're frozen. You could even set your life insurance beneficiary to be that company so that you can get frozen if you don't have billions of dollars at your disposal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the whole argument that some people believe in this concept is there are millions of people who are alive today who they were once frozen. They were frozen sperms or eggs, frozen embryos. And we found the science, right? So why can't we find the science later? They write, in a sense, those people were cryogenically frozen and yet they are alive today. Listen, I'm not saying I support this argument. That's just the argument that they have. But a lot of people think the whole situation is kind of eerie. First of all, at that price point, only the wealthy have a shot at being immortal. Second of all, it just feels wrong. Like it's going against human principles. Why do people have to try and be immortal? Third, it's just kind of plain stupid, is what people say. One cryobiologist says, there's absolutely no current way, no proven scientific way to actually freeze a whole human down to that temperature without completely destroying, and I mean obliterating the tissues. So there's actually no proof that you're even preserving anything. But wealthy people everywhere are lining up to freeze their bodies anyway. Side note, they're also freezing their pets to take with them into the afterlife. They think if it works, it works. If it doesn't, they died anyway. What's the problem? But in Taiwan, a wealthy boy is frozen for a completely different reason. For the past year, in this small morgue in Taiwan, he's not cryogenically frozen, but it almost feels like it because he's kept in limbo. An 18-year-old's body has been kept in the morgue freezer, just floating around. May 2023, 18-year-old Lai suspiciously fell from the 10th floor balcony. The reason that his death has been driving Taiwan and netizens all over the world absolutely insane is the fact that every single thing up to his death is suspicious. A week prior to Lai's death, he mysteriously inherits $15.5 million, or 500 million Taiwanese dollars. 2 hours before his death, 18-year-old Lai marries a 26-year-old man that he's only met twice. Then he dies. Not only is his death this confusing question of what actually happened, but also now, who gets his $15.5 million fortune?
Oh man, I feel like I'm getting sleepy.
As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. Just a few disclaimers for today's case. This episode includes mentions of mental health struggles, discussions of alleged self-exit. If these topics are uncomfortable or triggering, please take care of yourself. Reach out to a friend. We will see you in the next one. So with that being said, let's get started. There's a lot of weird things that happen when you work in a morgue. People might not know this, but bodies move when they're dead. When gases are being released by a corpse, think of it like a balloon. They're going to make noises. They're going to move their body just because the gas is being slowly released. They can make corpses moan, shift positions. Sometimes they'll even try to sit up suddenly. And then the smell. Obviously, the smell of death, which is not pleasant, and people talk about it all the time. But also, one morgue worker states, you have smelt nothing until you have smelt the farts of the dead. Safe to say, being a morgue worker is not an easy job, but even for morgue workers, this incident in Taiwan is weird. This past week, in this small tiny morgue in Taiwan, it's been pretty busy. The first major blow was a week ago. A neighborhood Grandpa Lai, had passed. Everyone in this town knew Grandpa Lai. He lived in this small 2-story resident building in this neighborhood. The house is nothing grand. It's like 60 years old, the house itself. But not in the original Spanish-style home, selling above market price. Literally in a very humble way. It's 60 years old, and it looks 60 years old. Grandpa and Grandma Lai, they raised their kids in that house. And now they have this grandchild, Lai. Now, Grandma Lai, you would see her every weekend just working at the market, selling produce in one of her stalls. Unless you knew the family well, you would never even suspect that they were one of the wealthiest families in the entire neighborhood. Grandpa Lai, you would see him walking in and out of this house wearing the same t-shirt, shorts, and sandals. He only rode around in his bicycle, not even a motorbike, a bicycle. He just had 4 sets of clothes that he would change in and out of. Every 4 days, you would see him in the same exact outfit. And then when he would shower after a long day, he absolutely refuses to use the shower head. He thinks it wastes more water. So he would instead grab one of those large buckets, collect the water in there, get a pail to collect the water, and then he would use the pail to scoop the water over himself. That way you don't have the water running the whole time. Well, not for longer. Last week, he had fallen in the shower and passed away. His body was cremated by this very morgue. That was not an easy case. It was very sad.
What happened? He just fell and died?
Yeah, he was very old. He had a lot of health conditions, and then he fell, and I think it made things worse. So that's why they say when you get older, a slip and fall is sometimes a death sentence for people.
So it wasn't anything strange?
No, he didn't die mysteriously, but it was overall a very sad case. But in morgues, you become very familiar with death. All you can hope is, well, he was old. Hopefully he lived a very full life. The morgue director, he runs over to Gao. This is a week after Grandpa Lai has been cremated. Gao is this famous forensic expert. Mr. Gao, you have been doing this for 40 years. I have been in this field for 30 years. Yes, I've seen many cases, but this is not a normal case. This body is very strange. Gao's like,
who is this morgue's manager?
Yes, he works at the morgue, and he's like, something weird is going on. I've been running this morgue for the past 30 years, and I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this. And Gao is like, okay, well, what's going on? The entries just don't make sense. I don't understand how this could have happened. Gao is confused. What do you mean by that? This 18-year-old boy fell from 10 stories tall, from the 10th floor balcony. In terms of broken bones, he just has a broken arm. That's it, a minor broken arm, not even a severely mangled arm. I just don't believe that he's fallen from the 10th floor. It doesn't make any sense to me. But the police are saying he fell from 10 stories tall and passed away. But more than that, this child's grandfather, Grandpa Lai, had passed away a week ago, and he just inherited $15.5 million. He suspiciously dies a week after becoming one of the wealthiest residents in this town? Tell me how that makes sense. They decide to alert the next of kin. And when you think of the next of kin for an 18-year-old who passed away, you're thinking father, mother, some sort of parental figure, right? But in this case, it's tricky because this 18-year-old also has a husband. He just got married 2 hours before he died, so who is next of kin right now? May 4th, 2023, so over a year ago from today, around 11 a.m., the local police in Taiwan get a call. Hi, there's a man. What is the man doing? Like, what's going on? He's fainted on the street near the apartment building. I don't really know what's going on. Just please hurry. It's a very vague phone call. Authorities rush to the apartment complex, and clearly there's a medical emergency. Somebody needs our attention. They run down the sidewalk, and there is a man. I mean, you could hardly say a man. He looks like a boy, a very young boy. And the way that he's collapsed, fainted onto the ground is a bit strange. He's laying mostly on this little grass patch next to the apartment building. His head is a little bit on the sidewalk. He's wearing black shorts, a black shirt. The way he's laying, though, is kind of like one of those crime scene body tape cutouts. He's sprawled onto the ground. Some witnesses state he looked like he was just taking a nap. He laid down on the grass in the sun, fell asleep. That's his posture. Well,
That's a long ad. Oh my gosh, I just saw like dozed off. Oh my gosh, I'm so pooped. Oh. I'm so pooped. Oh man, I'm so pooped. I definitely need to turn the live stream. I don't think I want to be up here this late.
you see, he's not waking up. One of his sandals is in the bushes behind him. Another one is near his body. The glasses are not on his face. They're laying next to him in the grass. The police look at the guy next to the boy on the ground. He's 30. He's wearing this like red, white, and black shirt. What's going on? Are you the one that called? I live in this apartment building. I was just walking by and I saw him laying here like this, and he's unresponsive. So they call in medical professionals. They rush the boy on the ground to the hospital.
I'm just going to end the stream here.
Resuscitating him multiple times, but after all the unsuccessful attempts, he is pronounced dead. The police don't